Kurt Wilhelm, the host of the Social Universe here on Voice America, and I have missed our great audience out there, so thanks for tuning back in, and our future YouTube audience as well. We're closing in on a million views on our YouTube channel, so we really appreciate all of you who find us out there on YouTube after the fact. And if you haven't found us on YouTube, feel free to go there and subscribe. You can click subscribe, and then you can actually learn about our shows every time we post those. And we also do other events that are not exactly on the air. We cover, for example, a lot of beauty pageants. So Miss Native American USA is a pageant that has just been recently promoted, and we also have had Miss Arab USA, Mrs. Philippines Arizona. Just some examples of the other types of videos that you will see going up there, as well as sports activities, just a lot of different things. So go check out our YouTube channel. All you have to do is go to youtube.com and type in Social Universe, and you will find boatloads of videos that are out there. We want to thank our advertisers for bringing the show to all of you and us today. Crescendo is our major advertiser. We really appreciate the advertising space that they have with us, and we love to tell our listeners about the free website they have to offer. So if you ever have an interest, feel free to call us at 480-296-1776, and Crescendo, we can explain to you how Crescendo will provide a free website for you. Also, they provide VoIP Cloud PBX phones. We actually are, there's a large media outlet that all of you would recognize that is about to become a Crescendo client that we're bringing to the table for them, and I can't quite share their name because it hasn't happened yet, but we're really excited to be able to bring a Fortune 500 style client to Crescendo. So it's just been a great experience of working with Crescendo all the way around, and just because Fortune 500 clientele is interested in Crescendo, it doesn't mean that if you just have a couple of phones in your office that it might not work for you as well. So we also want to thank Glendale Flowers for bringing the flowers through on our show. So for all of your floral needs, check out Glendale Flowers on approximately 59th Avenue in Glendale. Also PJ's Flowers over on 19th Avenue in Glendale, and then Planet Beach. All 9 locations. Go to Google Maps, type in Planet Beach, and go there. You also, if you call in at 480-296-1776, we can give you a free day at the spa to go check out Planet Beach. So we please appreciate Planet Beach offering that as well. So thanks to all of our advertisers. So the material we're going to be talking about today has a little bit to do with implementation. How do you implement? For show after show after show, we talk about lots of moving parts having to do with development of your social media. We talk about how to get things done inside the social media, what the strengths and weaknesses of the social media. We obviously feel that the strongest social media platform out there by far, move over Facebook, is Trusted Team, move over LinkedIn, Trusted Team, and eventually move over Google. We have a Trusted Team. I really feel strongly that Trusted Team over time is going to be the wave of the future, and at least in the way that businesses gain business. A Trusted Team is not a direct competitor to Google. You're always going to want to type in a keyword and find out something on the internet, so they're never going to be going away. However, Trusted Team, as far as getting results for your business, that is something that is changing the face of how businesses gain business. So definitely would recommend, and they're not even an official advertiser, even though we should probably start charging them with all of the all of the discussion we have about Trusted Team. But go to bizgrowth, bizgrowth.trustedteam.com, and if you want to put a /start on the end of that URL, there's a video where the creator of the product will give a video talking about how basically an introduction to the product and how it can do the same thing for you that it has for us. A quick testimonial: it has actually increased our referral business by over 2,000%, and so far has brought us debatably anywhere from 2 to 3 million referrals. And the reason I say debate is that when we get done finalizing our numbers and the dust settles on this month, there's a really good chance in a 3 to 3.5 month period there may be as much as $8 million worth of referrals that have been able to be brought to us. And I challenge anyone who, even if they jump on Google for 3 months and just pour thousands and thousands of dollars into it, I defy anybody to get that kind of a result that quickly, barring maybe some major pay-per-click campaigns. So just love Trusted Team, can't say enough about it. We are also going to talk a little bit about keeping balance in your life, and something that I have really, it's going to sound a little bit boring on the show. Just because I said the word boring doesn't mean that you need to go change the station, okay? So stick around with us. We're going to talk about implementation. And if you really think about getting things done, there's all these ideas that we just talked about, the crescendo, the website, the Trusted Team, all of this stuff can only work for you if you implement, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. But one of the things that's important for you to do before you implement, and so I've actually brought a couple of guests that are going to be joining us today for just a couple minutes to clear the air as far as the idea of balance and getting the energy right. So first of all, you need to be mentally, emotionally, and physically correct. Then you can, not then, but the closer you are to being mentally correct, physically correct, and then some people may argue spiritually correct. I'm one of those that talks about spiritually correct. But there is a pathway and a journey that you can go through to get there, to gain balance. And so I have actually brought back one of our favorite guests to talk a little bit about how to gain balance in your life. And then I'm going to talk about how you take that state of mind and turn it into actual application of getting things done. GTD, getting things done. So Elaine, I want to welcome you back on the show, and what would be the advice that you would give, because a lot of our audience tend to be business owners, people who care about the social media. It doesn't mean that they necessarily officially own their own business. They might be people who are working out of their home, promoting themselves. I was talking to a person who worked in a $50 million company yesterday, but he actually has a major program to promote himself. It's all about personal branding. So sometimes you actually might be an employee, but you're doing some major personal branding. Those are the types of people that listen to our show. So what kind of advice would you give from the standpoint of getting balanced and getting your life straight and your body in alignment so that you can focus on your job?
Well, thank you, Kurt. It's a pleasure to be back and to share some of the experiences that I've gone through. I've tested a lot of different programs to bring balance. And one thing that's very important is journaling. And setting up.
I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. I've just put journaling on as a daily activity for myself.
Good.
So, and this was independent of Elaine. So, thank you for validating. Keep going.
Okay. Well, in addition to journaling, is a day planner, and actually allocating time for different projects.
Sure.
And what is important is to start off the day right. And most people will either meditate or they'll go for a run, some type of exercise, just to center yourself, feel how the body feels. And then, you have your water, you hydrate, then you have a very good breakfast. Dr. Oz and many other medical programs that are on TV or elsewhere advocate that breakfast is the primary meal of the day. That fuels how you're going to feel, how you're going to perform. And so you start off with good breakfast, and that can take you all the way through to lunch without being hungry.
Absolutely.
By having protein.
You have validated so much. I'm so glad, because I've made this plan, that I'm talking in anything. For example, last night, 1 in the morning, I had I love to listen to books on tape, and that's part of the way that my balance occurs, that I turn my brain off, and then I go to sleep. But it was the book completed, the book on CD that I was listening to as I fell asleep. And I like CD because it ends. Otherwise, it could go all night long, and you never know where you are, right? So at the end, then they had authors, a kind of a radio interview. It turned out the narrator of the book on CD was also a talk show host. So he interviewed the author afterward, and I could not sleep. My brain turned on again, and there was so much about it. But they talked about that a lot of the work of an author is the personal experience he's going through. So actually, what we're talking about today is some of the evolution of my own personal experience. And so making it a little bit personal, thank you for validating. I had a big breakfast this morning. It's so big that I'm still not hungry. I have drunk almost 3/4 of a gallon of water today, so very hydrated. I did 75 pull-ups, 75 sit-ups, 75 push-ups, and the real workout of the day is coming later this evening. But these are thank you for validating this stuff, and I feel really, really good. So part of getting focused and getting things done is also creating that overall balance in the spiritual, mental, physical, social, emotional side of your life.
Well,
but go ahead.
And the other thing is, if you are scheduling appointments and you've got appointments back to back, you've got to actually program a 15-20 minute break.
Right.
Do 2 appointments, take a break, then do 2 more appointments, and then take a break. This way, it gives you an opportunity to relax, do some deep breathing, maybe do some stretching, fuel your body with more water or a healthy snack.
Sure.
And the other thing is, at the end of the day, if you're very busy, people forget to exercise just before they go to bed. And that's a wonderful way of getting rid of tension. If you've been standing for long periods of time or sitting, driving, you've built up tension in your body. And if you take your lessons from animals, they're wonderful. They're such healers. And you notice before an animal gets up, it'll stretch out,
Sure.
Then it gets up, goes do a few things, and it'll stretch, And the animal will stretch before it settles down to sleep. And if you've had a very busy day, or you've been listening to those CDs that you were and your mind got very active, another great way to calm the mind is to do some meditation, or you can even go into a prayer of gratitude. No matter what your spiritual belief is just thank the day for what you learned, your opportunities.
Sure.
And when you do that, you calm the soul, the spirit, and it puts you in a nice attitude for sleep, because you get in touch with your inner core, and then you can drift off to sleep. And if you mentally program your inner alarm clock, you can actually extend your sleep. And we normally go through 4 to 5 sleep cycles, and a cycle is 90 minutes. That's why several people will wake up after an hour and a half. That's normal. And then you can just, you can stretch, do some deep breathing and go back to sleep again.
Yeah, it was great. And normally it's because of my active mind. Last night it was active listening. It was just amazing and life-changing. I won't go into it here, but it was just absolutely great, a wonderful experience, and kind of made me realize, what? We had a couple of other things for the show today, and instead I wanted to talk about balancing your life so that you can focus and get things done, live in your integrity. And so I thought, having Elena along would be very apropos. That's what she does.
Thank you.
We're just about to go to break. Elaine, if you could give some contact information for those that would like to work with you to balance. You work to help people balance their physical elements in many cases, but you do it holistically, and so all those 4 areas that you advocate that people get involved in.
Yeah, it's called body recalibration. I recalibrate the whole body, all systems of the body, in a very simple, easy format. And everything is custom tailored, and I can do presentations to small groups or large groups. You know, wherever people need help, I'm here to do that for them.
Just before the show, she was consulting with some NFL alumni. So she's very well connected, has had some great experiences, gets great results. What is a phone number or a website that people can meet with you?
A phone number is my cell phone, because you know, I carry that everywhere. It's 602-670-2850. Sometimes the mailbox is full, so just send me a text message.
Okay.
Through my phone. That's the quickest and easiest.
Great access.
Again, the number is 602-670-2850.
Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, keep in mind that this is Arizona Standard Time. So if you're watching it and it's 3 in the morning and it's New York, be a little bit careful that you're not waking her up, or else she's gonna have to put on a book on CD. So to go back
That's
to
okay,
sleep.
because sometimes, you know, I do my creative writing between 12 and 3.
Oh.
Or sometimes I'll go to bed at 9 and then I'll wake up at 3.
Oh.
When there isn't so much electrical interference.
You bet. That's
And
a little bit of
then-
what that author's interview that we were talking
Yeah.
about yesterday.
But you know,
yeah.
there's times that, you know, I get inspired and I'm ready to go to bed, my brain's not ready to go to sleep.
Yeah.
And I have a notebook at the nightstand and I just start writing.
That's exactly what I would talk about when we come back from break. Thank you, Elaine. We're right on the same wavelength, and I'm hoping our listeners are as well. So make sure you get your pens and pencils handy, and we will teach you how to change your life in a way that makes you excited to implement that plan that's been in your head. It needs to come out, whatever that is. We can help you bring that forward. So stick around, and we'll be back right after the break. This is Kurt Wilhelm, the host of The Social Universe, here on Voice America and World Talk Radio, joined by Elaine Glenna. Appreciate you joining us on the show. Definitely, I would advocate you getting in contact with her. But don't go away. We'll be right back after the break.